I caught my son's coach alone with him in the locker room, so I joined the booster club. I picked up my son Eli from basketball practice early because his dentist appointment got moved up. The gym was empty. Practice had ended 20 minutes ago. I walked toward the locker room and heard voices. Coach Brennan's low murmur, then my son's voice, small and uncertain. I pushed open the door and found them in the corner. Brennan's hand was on Eli's shoulder. They jumped apart like I'd caught them stealing, just going over some plays, Brennan said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Eli wouldn't look at me the whole drive home. That night, I checked his phone while he slept. The text thread made my vision go black. Messages going back 4 months. You're my favorite player. Don't tell the other boys. I got you something special, but it's our secret. Then photos Brennan had sent. Nothing explicit yet, but close. Too close. Pictures of himself at the gym. Comments about how Eli was becoming a man. Questions about whether Eli thought about girls yet, about other things. I sat on my son's bedroom floor at 2 a.m, shaking with rage so intense I couldn't breathe. I didn't go to the police. Not yet. I'd seen cases like this fall apart. Coach's word against a 12-year-old's. Texts that could be explained away. I needed more. I needed everything. The next morning, I walked into the athletic office and volunteered for the booster club. Said I wanted to be more involved in my son's activities. The secretary looked thrilled. We always need dads who care, she said. She had no idea how much I cared. Within a week, I had a key to the facility. Within 2 weeks, I was running the equipment inventory, which meant access to every room in the building, including the coach's offices. Brennan shook my hand at my first official meeting, told me Eli was a great kid with real potential. I smiled and thanked him for investing so much time in my son. The words tasted like battery acid in my mouth. I installed cameras in the locker room on a Saturday when the building was empty. Tiny devices hidden in the vents, the kind you can buy online for $60. I told myself it was about evidence, about protection. Every night, I reviewed footage. Brennan was careful, professional when other people were around. But alone with certain players, he changed. The lingering touches, the private conversations, the way he positioned himself between boys and the door. I watched him corner Eli after practice one night, watched him lean in close, whisper something that made my son flinch. I gripped my desk so hard my knuckles turned white. Then I noticed something else. Brennan kept a gym bag in his office that he never took home. I waited until midnight, drove to the school, used my booster club key. The bag was in his bottom drawer. Inside were Polaroids, dozens of them. Boys I recognized from the team, boys from years past, some in uniforms, some in less. I photographed everything, put it back exactly how I found it, and walked out into the parking lot where I threw up until nothing was left. The footage accumulated, the Polaroids were documented, but I needed him to confess. I needed his own words, damning him so completely that no lawyer could spin it. So I became his friend. Started bringing him coffee before practices, stayed late to help him break down drills, talked about fatherhood, about how hard it was raising boys, about how nobody understood the pressure. Brennan opened up like a flower desperate for sunlight. He told me about his previous coaching jobs, about special players he'd mentored, about how people misunderstood close relationships between coaches and athletes. One night, after the booster club fundraiser, I got him drunk at a bar downtown, told him I'd noticed how much attention he gave Eli, said I appreciated someone who saw my son's potential. His eyes went glassy with alcohol and something darker. Your boy is special, he slurred. I could tell the moment I met him. Some kids just have this quality, this openness. I recorded every word on my phone under the table. He talked for an hour about grooming, about patience, about how you build trust slowly until they think it's their idea. He never said the actual words, but he said enough. I brought everything to the detective on a Friday morning. Footage, photos of the Polaroids, audio recordings, text screenshots, 3 hours of interviews where I laid out every piece of evidence I'd collected over 2 months. The detective's face went from skeptical to horrified to grateful. By that afternoon, Brennan was in handcuffs. They found the gym bag exactly where I said it would be. They found more on his home computer, 19 victims spanning 12 years and 4 different schools. Eli wasn't the first. He was just the latest in a pattern that nobody had bothered to see. The other parents looked at me differently after that, some with gratitude, some with guilt. A few couldn't meet my eyes because they'd trusted Brennan too. They'd let their son stay late for extra practice. They'd thanked him for being such a dedicated coach. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Brennan's lawyer tried to paint me as a vigilante, someone who'd entrapped his client. The judge didn't buy it. 18 counts, 45 years, no parole. Eli started therapy that month. He still flinches sometimes when men stand too close, but he's getting better. We're getting better.